Ever feel like you're stuck? Like in a rut, facing the same challenges again and again. And it's like you're spinning your wheels but getting nowhere.
Ugh, I know that feeling.
Well, good news. Today's deep dive is all about breaking free from those patterns
Oh, tell me more. How do we do that?
with the power of questions.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're diving into Change Your Questions, Change Your Life.
I've heard of that.
It explores how the questions we ask ourselves can really shape our thoughts and even feelings.
Yeah.
Ultimately, even our results.
It's true, isn't it? We often just go through life on autopilot, reacting to things, without even realizing what we're asking ourselves in our heads.
Yeah, it's like we have this constant inner dialogue, but are we asking the right questions?
Right. That's the key.
The book talks about this visual tool called the choice map. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah, the choice map. It's a great way to kind of picture those different mindsets we can adopt, right? When we're facing a challenge or making a decision.
It's like two paths.
Exactly. Diverging from a central point. One path is, well, the judger path. It's filled with questions like, whose fault is this? Or even, why is this happening to me?
Oof. Yeah. I know that path all too well. It's like when that inner critic comes out,
Your inner critic.
starts blaming everyone,
Yes.
including yourself, like when you're stuck in traffic and getting angry at all the other drivers, or beating yourself up over a mistake at work.
Oh, yeah. And those judger questions, they really lead to a lot of negative emotions. Blame, anger, frustration, even despair.
It can be such a trap.
It really can. They can trap you in this cycle of negativity. And that can keep you from taking, productive action.
Well, what's the other path? The alternative.
Well, that's the learner path.
The learner path. Okay.
And it's full of completely different questions. Things like, what can I learn from this? Or what are my choices here? Or even, what's possible now?
Instead of why is this happening, it's more like, what do I want to happen?
Yes. And what can I do about it?
I love that shift. It's like instead of feeling trapped by a situation, you're empowered to find solutions.
Right. You can create a better outcome.
Think about it, like being stuck in traffic. Instead of getting all frustrated, what if you asked, okay, how can I use this time?
Right. You could listen to a podcast, maybe?
Or brainstorm some ideas?
That's it. Turn it into something positive.
But let's be real, it's hard to always be in learner mode.
Of course. Yeah. We're human. Right.
Those judger reactions, they pop up.
They do. The key is recognizing when we've veered off onto that judger path.
Okay, so how do we do that?
And then consciously choosing to kind of shift our mindset.
Oh, so there's a way to switch.
Yes, that's where the switching lane comes in.
Switching lane.
It's that bridge on the choice map that helps us move from judger to learner.
I like that. Okay, so how do we make that switch?
Well, the book gives us 3 powerful switching questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
The first one is, what assumptions am I making?
Okay, what else?
How else can I think about this?
Okay,
And what is the other person thinking, feeling, and wanting?
got it. Those questions seem simple,
They are, but they're powerful.
like circuit breakers.
Yeah, like interrupting that downward spiral of judgment.
I think we've all been there. It's like getting sucked into a vortex of negativity.
Yeah, I've been there too.
And these switching questions,
Mm.
they seem like a way to break free.
They are. The book actually brings all of this to life.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it tells the story of this guy named Ben.
Okay.
He's struggling in this new leadership role, full of self-doubt, clashing with his team.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, and his story, it's really relatable because it shows how these negative thought patterns, they can affect us not just at work, but also in our personal lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ben is stuck in this judger mindset. What happens?
Well, Ben stumbles upon the choice map and those switching questions,
Okay.
and it's like a light bulb goes off for him.
Oh, he gets it.
Yeah, he starts to realize that he has the power to choose his mindset. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a victim of his own negative thoughts.
Those aha moments.
Yeah.
Like seeing things from a new perspective.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. But it's one thing to understand these concepts.
Right.
It's another to actually apply them in real life.
Totally. So how does Ben put these tools into action?
Well, there's this powerful anecdote in the book. Ben's facing a big conflict with a colleague, this guy named Charles,
Oh, boy.
who Ben sees as constantly undermining him. Ben's initial reaction is pure judger, defensiveness, blame, feeling threatened.
Classic, like someone's out to get you.
Yeah, exactly. So what does Ben do to shift his mindset?
I don't know. What did he do?
Well, he remembers the switching questions,
Okay.
takes a breath, pauses, and asks himself,
Yeah.
what assumptions am I making about Charles? And that simple question,
Hmm.
it changes everything.
Wow. It's like just asking that question
Uh-huh.
and interrupts that judge reaction and opens up a new perspective. So what happens next?
Yeah.
What does he discover?
He realizes, he's been projecting his own insecurities onto Charles.
Oh, wow.
Like seeing Charles's actions through this lens of suspicion and competition.
It's like a distorted reality.
Exactly, fueled by his own fears.
That's powerful.
Mhm.
So how does this new awareness change Ben's approach to Charles?
Well, instead of seeing all of Charles's questions as attacks,
Hmm.
he starts to think maybe Charles is just curious,
Oh, interesting.
just seeking clarification.
Okay,
And that leads to a totally different conversation between them.
I bet.
One that's based on curiosity and collaboration.
Instead of defensiveness and competition.
Right.
So Ben shifts from, like, how can I prove I'm right,
Mm-hmm.
to what is Charles thinking, feeling, wanting?
That's it. It's a total game changer.
I can see how that would really transform things. So what happens? What's the result of this new approach?
Well, that shift in Ben's mindset allows him to actually ask Charles questions, to try and understand his perspective
Mhm.
and his needs.
Mhm.
And you know what? This fosters trust, opens up communication,
It makes sense.
and they actually find common ground. Ben's story really shows us how changing our questions, it can literally change our lives.
It's inspiring.
It really is. It's about stepping out of that role of victim or judge and becoming an active participant in shaping our experiences.
Okay, so we have this incredible power to change our perspective, create a more positive reality.
We do.
But how do we tap into that power more consistently?
Good question.
Especially in those moments when those judger reactions take over.
Yeah, no, well, I think it starts with awareness. Remember that internal...
Who neutral observer?
Yes. It's like having a little voice in your head that can spot those judger moments
Oh, so it's like
as they're happening.
taking a step back,
Exactly.
pressing pause.
Just noticing them. It's not about suppressing those thoughts and feelings,
Okay.
It's about recognizing them without getting swept away by them.
So you take a step back. You ask yourself, what's going on here?
Uh-huh.
Am I falling into that judger trap?
Yes.
And then what? How do we shift gears?
Well, that's where those switching questions come in. They're like a bridge. From the judger path to the learner path. Remember that first one? What assumptions am I making?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It seems so simple.
It is, but powerful.
It can disrupt those automatic negative reactions.
Because when we're in that judger mode, we tend to just jump to conclusions.
We do.
It's like
Right.
we're creating stories in our heads that might not even be true.
Right. And by asking, what assumptions am I making? We can challenge those stories. Start seeing things more clearly. Think about those team meetings we've all been in.
Yeah. Frustrating ones.
Instead of going in with the mindset of, I need to prove I'm right, or why aren't they getting this? Try those learner questions. Okay, so instead of, how can I convince everyone that I'm right? It's more like, what can I learn from my team?
Yes.
Or what are the obstacles and how can we overcome them?
Exactly. Those questions, they shift the focus from blame to collaboration, problem solving,
I like that.
and they create a more open atmosphere where everyone feels safe to share their ideas.
That's so important,
Yeah.
especially in a team setting. But what about those one-on-one interactions? When you're dealing with a difficult colleague
Oh, yeah.
or a boss who's just impossible to please.
Those can be tough. But remember those switching questions. They're your secret weapons. Let's say you're dealing with a colleague who criticizes everything you do.
Ugh, I've been there.
It can be so demoralizing.
It is. What's the first step?
Ask yourself, what assumptions am I making about this person's intentions? Maybe they're not trying to be mean. Maybe they're just trying to be helpful,
Okay.
albeit clumsily. Or maybe they're feeling insecure and projecting their own anxieties onto you.
It's like seeing things from a different angle
Exactly.
and maybe diffusing those negative emotions.
Yeah, right.
Creating space for a real dialogue.
And once you've challenged those assumptions,
Yeah.
ask yourself that second switching question, how else can I think about this?
Okay. So instead of a personal attack,
Uh-huh.
it's an opportunity for feedback.
Right. Reframing the situation
Growth.
from this person is making my life miserable to, okay, what can I learn here?
Yeah. And that
Right.
leads to positive action.
Absolutely. And don't forget that third switching question. What is this person thinking, feeling, and wanting?
Yeah.
Try to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with them. Just trying to understand where they're coming from. It can help you find common ground. Move towards a resolution.
It's not you versus me.
Right.
It's we.
Exactly.
We're in this together.
Finding a solution. And, the beauty of these principles is that they aren't limited to the workplace. They work in our personal lives, too.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially in those close relationships.
Yes. Where emotions can run high.
We're probably more likely to fall into those judger traps with people we care about most.
It's true.
Yeah.
Can you give an example of how we could use this in our personal relationships?
Sure.
Think about Ben and his wife, Grace.
Okay.
They were both stressed, disconnected. And those judger patterns, they were creating tension. Instead of shutting down or getting defensive, Ben could have asked Grace, "What are you feeling right now?"
Or, "What do you need from me?"
Yeah, simple questions, but powerful. They create a sense of safety, openness.
It's like you're inviting someone to share without judgment.
Exactly. And instead of blaming each other for their problems, they could use learner questions to find solutions together. How can we create more time for each other?
And what can we do to support each other better?
Yes.
So it's not just about using these tools for the big challenges.
Right.
It's the everyday stuff, too.
The little things.
Yeah, like burning dinner, spilling coffee on your shirt. Instead of, such an idiot.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, okay, what can I learn from this?
How can I prevent it next time?
It's about being kinder to ourselves.
It is approaching those little setbacks with curiosity, even humor.
Because those judger patterns can take such a toll.
They really can. Not just on, our productivity, but also on our well-being.
Like that inner critic. It drains our energy, keeps us from experiencing joy.
It's true. But the beauty of question thinking is that it breaks us free from that negativity. It creates a more positive, internal dialogue.
Absolutely. And that's what this book is all about.
It is. It's about recognizing that we have a choice in every moment to ask those questions that lead us towards growth, connection.
And a more fulfilling life.
That's it.
We've talked about a lot of great tools already.
Yeah, we have.
But there's one more from the book that I'm curious about.
Okay.
Q-storming.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds kind of intense.
It does, doesn't it?
But also like a powerful way to unlock creativity.
And innovation.
Exactly.
It's taking brainstorming, but applying it to questions.
Okay.
Instead of jumping to answers.
Yeah.
You focus on generating those thought-provoking questions.
That can lead to breakthroughs.
Right.
It's like instead of solution-oriented,
Yes.
it's inquiry-oriented.
That's it.
So how does Q-storming actually work?
Well, the first step is you have to get clear on your goal.
Okay.
What are you trying to achieve? What problem are you trying to solve?
Okay.
What opportunity are you exploring?
Makes sense.
And once you've got that focus, you get a group of people together with diverse perspective.
And expertise. Right. You want those different viewpoints.
To spark those aha moments.
Like creating that fertile ground for ideas.
Exactly.
So what happens next?
Well, the facilitator kind of sets the stage,
Okay.
reminds everyone of the goal,
Right.
encourages them to generate as many questions as possible.
And just like brainstorming, it's quantity over quality.
At this stage,
No judging.
no censoring,
Let those questions flow.
even if they seem silly or outlandish.
Sometimes those dumb questions lead to the most brilliant insights.
It's true.
It's like you're looking at the problem from all angles.
Shaking things up.
Right.
And as those questions are flowing,
Yeah.
you start to see connections emerge, patterns.
New possibilities.
It's like expanding your awareness.
Creating space for new ideas.
Yeah.
The book mentions a team that used Q-storming to develop a new marketing strategy.
Oh, interesting.
They were stuck recycling the same old ideas. How did Q-storming help them break through?
Well, they started by asking these really broad questions. Like,
right.
what if we weren't limited by our budget? Or what if we could reach a whole new audience? Or even, what if we could completely reinvent our brand?
Those are some bold questions.
Right.
I can already feel that shift in perspective.
So what happened as they kept Q-storming?
What happened?
Well, they started asking more specific questions.
Okay.
Like, how can we use social media to engage younger customers? What partnerships could we create?
Oh, good one.
How can we personalize our messaging?
It's like they were peeling back the layers.
Yeah.
Uncovering hidden opportunities.
And sparking those new ideas.
It's amazing how asking the right questions can lead to so much creativity.
It's true.
It seems like this could apply to any area of life,
Absolutely.
not just business.
Imagine you're feeling stuck in your career.
Yeah.
You could get a group of friends together, have a Q-storming session.
What kind of questions would we ask?
Well, you could start big.
Okay.
What do I really want to be doing with my life?
Mm.
What are my passions and talents?
Okay.
What kind of impact do I want to make? Then you can get more specific.
Right.
What skills do I need to develop?
Okay.
What resources are available? Who can I connect with?
It's like creating a roadmap,
Yeah.
using the collective wisdom of the group
Tapping into that collective intelligence.
to overcome those feelings of being stuck.
Exactly. And the best part is,
Yeah.
Q-storming can be fun.
Oh, good.
It's a great way to connect with others,
Hmm.
spark creativity.
Generate new possibilities.
It doesn't have to be all serious.
I like it.
It can be enjoyable too.
So we're turning challenges into opportunities
Yes.
for growth, collaboration, and maybe even some laughter.
Exactly.
It seems like the core message of Change Your Questions, Change Your Life is about shifting our mindset,
Yes.
embracing curiosity,
And asking empowering questions.
the power to change your life.
It really does lie in the questions you choose to ask.
So what question will you ask today to unlock your potential and shape your future? Remember, the journey begins with a single question.